And good morning to everyone. It is Wednesday, February 10th, um, closing in quickly on the season of Lent, which will be next Wednesday, beginning with Ash Wednesday. Um, I thought I would share a few words today on Wednesday Words from the Pastor. I thought I'd share just a thought on a discussion that was held after a Mass on Monday evening. There was a group of people standing outside and they were talking about the apostolic pardon. Not the apostolic blessing, but the apostolic pardon. And the apostolic pardon, there seemed to be some confusion. Some people just finding out that it even exists. It is a pardon that entails and is given with an indulgence of remission of all temporal punishment due to sin, both here and hereafter. It's like think of Jesus and the good thief, right? Jesus and the good thief on the cross, Dismas. He promised him he would be with him in paradise, and so a Catholic who dies receiving this apostolic pardon in the state of grace and who has fulfilled the conditions of that pardon we believe will be in heaven. One of the conditions is that that person has prayed regularly throughout his life, that he be in the state of grace, that he has received the sacraments. Remember, the apostolic pardon does not forgive sins. It's not absolution of sins. It's remission of punishment due to sin. And so the sacraments need to be received. Ordinarily it is in danger of death. Matter of fact, I think there is in the handbook for indulgences, it mentions, let's see if I can find it here, priests who administer the sacraments to the Christian faithful who are in a life and death situation should not neglect to impart to them the apostolic blessing with its attached indulgence. And so that apostolic blessing, that apostolic pardon, is not an absolution of sin, but it is a remission of the temporal punishment due to sin. We do reserve it for a life-death situation. Now, it's not when people see priests in hospitals, they automatically assume that I think that the person is dying. The only reason we come to the hospital is to see them when they're dying. And so they wait till the absolute last moment. And sometimes it's too late. Sometimes when we get there, or when we get to the homes, or when we get to the moments, it is too late. The person's already died. The reservation for this is that it be in a life so in danger of death, going into surgery, surgery that requires that could be putting the person's life at death. Most surgeries are trauma to the body and could result in that. Sickness, we don't do it if there's a terminal acknowledgement of terminal cancer. We do it at that time toward the life or death situation. But it is not given just like candy to anybody every week. We give an apostolic blessing every week. No, just for the faithful. It is not an absolution of sin. It is a remission of temporal punishment. So I just wanted to take a moment to clarify that moment with us and that discussion. And I know people are looking. They want to make sure, but it's a matter of leading a graceful life, leading a life filled with grace, praying regularly in our life, and trying to stay away from serious sins, trying to stay away from sin as much as we possibly can. That's the reality of the apostolic blessing, as best I can explain it without reading it directly from a text. There's moments where I've seen people receive it and it brings a great deal of peace to them and to their families. And there are those who think it's not magic. It is just a reality it is the blessing of the Church who gives this indulgence and promises that the remission of sin given to them as something handed down to them through the centuries. As Christ himself gave that blessing to Dismas for the remission of all of his sins. This day you will be with me in paradise. And so at the moment of death, if we stay faithful then that day we will be with Christ in paradise too. So, any questions? Look it up online. You can look it up in the Handbook of Indulgences, but the main thing is to live as good a life as you can. It doesn't give us free carte blanche to live a sinful life, to live a life of crime and misery and doing hateful things and hurtful things to others, and then at the last moment trying to decide, well, now I can get, because we never know when our last moment is. We never know when the moment of death comes to us. And so we try to live our lives in preparation for the forever that comes for us. If we're so worried about the forever, let's live our lives as if we are, and not wait till the last moment in our life to be concerned about it. Okay? Just a few things coming up. I'm writing a Lenten letter to everyone, and hopefully we'll get a chance to look at the calendar of events in that letter. Coming up, we have Ash Wednesday. Services here are at 6:45 at Mary Help at 6:45 in the morning, where you can get your ashes, and at 7 p.m. you can get your ashes as well. The Stations of the Cross are on the Fridays of Lent, beginning on the 19th and going all the way to March 26th. Every Friday at 7 o'clock in the church, and then the Korean Stations of the Cross will follow. And then we have Holy Week services listed, and then the fish fry on the 19th of March, and whatever other things we have listed. They're all listed in our calendar. Please look online, check us out online. We're trying to get the Lenten Black Books in time for Lent. If not, we'll get them as soon as we can. We'll put them out at the back of the church for those who are interested in having them. Other than that, know that we're thinking of you, praying for you. Keep us in your thoughts and prayers, and know that we're doing the same for you. Mary, Help of Christians, pray for us. Mary, Help of Christians, pray for you. God bless y'all.